of the Atlantic, nestled in downtown Jacksonville at TIAA Bank Field. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Denver Broncos and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The final weekend of the summer. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are as we are off and running on EA Sports. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
Here we go, set.
Now ETN to start the drive. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Right away, they rack up 10 yards on their first play from scrimmage. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. That one good for a gain of 13 for Jacksonville and a first down.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
On first down, Lawrence. And this nearly an interception right off the bat. An early crisis averted as that winds up incomplete. The Jaguars at 1-0 on the year following the win in Week 1, and they were able to get that road victory in the opener. Now they look to get to 2-0 in front of the home crowd.
And look, any road win in the NFL, that's huge. But when you do it Week 1, that gets you pointed in the right direction and sends notice to the rest of the league that you mean business.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Lawrence. And this is dropped. Oh, boy. A chance for a big play early, but he could not secure it.
But they certainly came out firing in this one, and while that one was incomplete, I can't imagine that'll be the last shot that they take in this game.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Looking to throw, Lawrence. And he's caught on his sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up 4th. On 4th down, on is Logan Cook to punt. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And this one will be touchdown right at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos. Right at the 30. Now it's Wilson. Throw to the right, caught by Dulcich. So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and it's 2nd down. This defense for the Jags, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
Yeah, and what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
A first carry now for Chase Edmonds. And takes this one across the 35 to the 36, a gain of about 4.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Wilson. He completes this to Sutton. And he will have a Broncos first down by about a yard. It's a gain of 5 on 3rd and 4. Well, they kept it simple there, CD, only needing the short gain to move the chain, so they didn't want to go with a deep throw. They just go with that safer, shorter throw and able to convert.
Nothing wrong with that at all, partner. Check the box, right? Make sure you pick up the first down. Offense is getting established. You're moving the ball. You're not turning it over. Check, check, check. They like what they're doing early in the game.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Now Wilson. Out route complete to Dulcich. Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he's got the first down yardage there as he takes it just across midfield.
I liked his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need 1. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
They stick to the ground game on first down. It's Williams. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning it in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Throwing is Wilson. This one complete to the running back, Chase Edmonds. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 31-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Micah Hyde. And the Jaguars are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line.
Partner, when you're playing cover 2, this is like a tag team for the safeties. Each of them gets a half-field responsibility. Their job, stay as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, read the football, and go make a play. In this case, the free safety made the best play, an interception.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 42 yards rushing for him now on just his first 3 carries. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the 2nd and the 3rd levels. You know, get to linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. Meanwhile, the throw here is complete. On the move past the 40. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. The 22 more yards there and another first down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
On 1st and 10, it's Etienne. Getting the stop defensively, Delarian Turner-Yell.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
From the 31, Lawrence. And the pass is intercepted. He was looking for Ingram. And the Broncos are going to take over at their own 2-yard line. Well, your first drive of the first quarter, you get it down there, trying to fire it in the end zone, and big-time deflation on that play.
No doubt about it. They're moving and grooving and getting into position, and this is not the ending that they saw on this drive, is it? They had things going their way.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They take over here following the interception. That's the good news. Their tough spot is the spot that they're in. That's inside the 5 in the shadow of their own goalpost here. 1st and 10. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
And that run, that changes the whole mentality about the drive right there. They were starting on their own 2-yard line. They just wanted enough space to punt the football successfully. Now they're talking about putting together a drive.
On 2nd down and 4, Wilson. This one complete to Jerry Jeudy. And now off to the races, down the right side, past the 20. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive. Lawrence hit and the ball is free. After 7-0 on EA Sports. The fumble on 1st down. Now here's 2nd down. Now Lawrence. And that's complete ETN out of the backfield. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football.
And I think this is a situation where a quarterback coach in the sideline is going to talk to a signal caller and say, listen, it's 3rd and long, and it's still early in the game. Let's not force things here. If we don't feel good about it, let's just check something down and pump the football.
A little jet sweep to start the drive. Stopped short of the 25, but that second effort got him a couple extra. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
On 2nd down, this is Edmonds. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
And the Jags have 5 in the secondary here on 3rd down. To throw is Wilson. Finding the open man, and that's Tim Patrick. And he will have a Broncos first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
And movement by one of the Broncos up front, and in comes the flag. The full start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They go play action with Wilson. This is caught. And the Broncos are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, you just need the tip of the ball to cross the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal.
Williams is not going to get in here as they push him back to the 2-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Back at the 2 now. Here's 2nd and goal. Edmonds is into the end zone for a Bronco touchdown. So after the disappointment in the opening week loss, Charles, this looks like really a completely different football team.
They sure do, and I think they realize we can't start 0-2, and they're determined to not let it happen by the looks of things here in the early going.
Extra point from McManus is good, and that'll make the score 14-0. Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. Now they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Lawrence. This one complete to Scott Miller. Now this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you're throwing so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect.
Well, this is a half where not just the coverage, but the entire defense is setting the tone in this game.
They tried to throw on second down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. They'll run with Etienne. And he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47. 53 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you should have a few men in the box there.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Lawrence to throw. This one caught by Ridley. And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Come on, set.
2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his 2nd week of the regular season.
We go.
On second down, a run with Etienne. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. From the gun, it's Lawrence. He'll get this out to the flat for Etienne. And he is going to have a Jags first down by about a yard as they're able to convert on 3rd and 2.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Throwing now, Lawrence on first down. And this one into the hands of Ingram downfield. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. 33 yards that time.
And that might be exactly what they needed to wake up this home crowd. They haven't given them much to cheer for so far. And never underestimate the effect the home crowd with you can have on a game.
Play action. It's Lawrence. Got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. Evan Ingram, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Jaguars get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a 2nd one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And with a 14-7 lead, they might just be happy to take this thing on into the tunnel. They'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. He'll drop this down to Williams, and he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Here's Wilson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. So line of scrimmage still to 39 on 2nd and 10. Here's Wilson. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down.
Well, he certainly didn't like what he saw at all from the coverage on his primary reads, and he didn't even have any luck trying to get back to his safety valve. Give defense a credit. Coverage was in lockdown mode everywhere.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Wilson. Got a man. It's Judy, complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. The end result, 21 yards.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a 1st down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
He certainly had a good game throwing the ball so far, but I think he was trying to take that from good to great with that throw, trying to get one downfield.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Wilson to throw. That's complete to Edmonds, his running back. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the 2nd down play, they burn the timeout, making them sweat out the final few ticks here in the 2nd quarter. Now with 5 seconds left, not really enough time to run another play and then stop it, so on comes the field goal unit. The kick by McManus is good, and that will do it for this 1st half. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As we send you a couple hours south of here to Orlando, that's where we check in with a coach in our EA Sports Halftime Report. We welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. This offense set to begin the 3rd quarter. And, Charles, if they had a checklist of things they wanted to accomplish. Taking it right down Broadway. The 40, 20, 10, and all the way home for a Broncos score. And we didn't even get a chance to settle in for that drive. A quick strike of 75 yards, and they find the end zone.
Don't you get the sense that film study was behind this one, that they saw something that they thought they could take advantage of? The key is calling it in the right situation, knowing when it exists to go to it. They did exactly that. They've got to feel really good about what they did in advance of this game.
Just looking down at the sideline now, their defense is like, man, can you have strung that out just a few plays? Give us a break. Back out there.
Hey, man, get that water break and get on out there and play.
Taken at the 15, a short kick. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
On the ready.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Check, check. Go, go. Go, go, go.
Now Lawrence. Well, that's the 3rd interception for Lawrence. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Now Wilson. Open man, he completes it to Judy. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And it'll be a 3rd and about 13.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
And the Jags with 5 in the secondary now on 3rd down. Throwing is Wilson. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Foyesade Oluwakin. And the Jags are going to take possession of the football. The one side gets an interception, but their defense comes on the field and picks them right back up by getting a pick of their own.
And I think you saw the same thing that I did, Brandon. As he ran off the field after making that play, we saw his quarterback seek him out and offer a personal thank you to bail him out a little bit as the offense takes the field again.
And he'll follow his blockers there all the way down to the 23-yard line. 73 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. They had 3 tight ends in on that set, and they were really good at blocking for their running back.
And give them a lot of credit because in football nowadays, tight ends coming out of college often don't block very often. These guys have really developed into superior blockers, and that's why they use them in this formation so often.
Meanwhile, Lawrence's throw into the hands of Kirk. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
Let's go.
2nd and 2. Looking to throw, Lawrence. He's got it. And the Jaguars are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Etienne is in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. And that is what you call lowering the boom down near the goal line. He was going to force his way in no matter what.
They always talk about low man wins when it comes to the offensive line, having the leverage to move the defenders. It's strong man wins when it comes to tackling in the red zone. And if you happen to be the low man and the strong man, that's a huge win.
after the touchdown. Cook now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. This now a 10-point game, so things tightening a little bit after that last score. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
On second down, Williams. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. Give him 14 yards there and a Denver first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Are things looking much rosier for him here in week 2? They work with the lead as they've got it 1st and 10. They'll go jet sweep here with Sutton. Shaquille Griffin in on the stop defensively. Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
2nd and 6. Now it's Wilson. Completes the pass to Judy on the crossing pattern. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 44-yard line. His big day receiving just keeps getting bigger. He's over 200 yards now on the afternoon. So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Wilson. He'll find Sutton on the right side, complete. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. Edmonds running out of the shotgun. And he'll take this one down to the 36. He got half of what he needed there, 2 yards. And it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. Now Wilson. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Foyesade Oluwakin. And the Jaguars will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. So a potential momentum shifter there, working with a 2-score lead, 3rd quarter, but that not the smartest of throws.
I would agree with you on that one because this game is still very much in the balance. It felt pretty one-sided to this point, but now if these guys can turn this turnover into points, things could start getting a little more interesting.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. They'll start on the ground. Etienne. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. 94 yards now for Etienne, and he's got a first down. He continues to be effective running the football, a big reason that they have the lead.
And I love one of the quotes that I read about him where he said of himself, I love it when a team just hops on my back and I just carry them along.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. And they'll go again with Etienne. And he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on second down.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Lawrence completes it to Evan Ingram. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
It's not often that you'll find offensive and defensive guys that'll agree on much, but one place they find common ground, you've got to protect or attack the middle of the field. And no one was there. What a big play, moving it downfield.
Work to do here to avoid falling to 1-1, but this is 1st and 10 right now. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. He targets Ingram for another grab. Touchdown, Jaguars! Evan Ingram, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Jaguars are able to get a score back in the final stages of this 3rd quarter.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
Hey, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that in the podcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. As this offense takes the field against CD. Remember, last drive, they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this second half. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. He'll get this one to Patrick. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on 1st and 2nd downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
Had a bit of a lane there, took advantage of it. Give him 7 there on the 1st down carry. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
They stay on the ground this time. It's Williams. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key third down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. And he will have a Broncos first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert here on 3rd and 3.
I'm not sure that was necessarily a safety valve or a check down throw on 3rd down. Sometimes just try and find the open guy and get him the ball. He did exactly that and found a way to pick up a first down.
Now a 10th carry. Here's Williams. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
Now that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. Now a run straight ahead with Edmonds. And here he'll get it down to the 7. A 5-yard gain there makes it 1st and goal. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what was said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3 and out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down it.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. They'll try and run. This is Williams. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
So with your team leading in the 4th quarter, you know you've got to run the football. They know you've got to run the football. Sometimes that means there's nowhere to run the football.
This drive's taken more than 3 minutes off the clock already as they come up on 2nd down. And they'll run the end around here with Judy. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. The 2nd down play not much better than the first. Just a gain of 1 there.
You got to be ready for anything when you play defense against this head coach. That is not something you'd expect to see here in the red zone. But it winds up getting him a few yards.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play. 3rd and goal. To throw is Wilson. And the pass is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Jerry Jeudy. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. And the Broncos get an important score there to extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. McManus's point after is good, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, you know, they trail by 2 scores here in the 4th quarter. This drive becomes very critical. And this is incomplete. Oh, it looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in.
Give it big credit for his coverage right there, because when he saw the route break deep, he stayed in position to prevent a completion while avoiding any risk of a flag.
So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Now Lawrence. And he comes back with one complete. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
Lawrence on 3rd down. And the Broncos get there and take him down. They bring the safety on the blitz, and he busts through to drop him for an 8-yard loss.
Probably a little bit of a surprise call there on 3rd and inches that they decided to throw the football. And how difficult is that for an offensive line when they look up and see all those extra bodies coming at them?
Tons of bodies coming in. They get a huge sack there.
Ready, break.
Here we go. Gotta have it. Lawrence. And Ingram holds it in. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line. So on 4th down, a big-time completion. And the defense, they've got to be shaking their heads right now.
Not only shaking their heads, but understand that they committed one of those cardinal sins that they say they can't do at any time. They committed an eye violation, had their eyes in one place, and allowed the deep ball behind them.
Here's Lawrence. And this is caught now for a late touchdown. So hold everything here. This one's not over yet. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a one-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
Point after, right down the middle. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. So they got their touchdown, now down a field goal. Here comes the onside kick. And the Broncos are going to get the football. A tough one there. They certainly wanted that when they needed it, but they didn't absolutely have to get it. They still do have 3 timeouts.
You're exactly right. They had to attempt it. But even though they didn't get it, as you noted, with 3 timeouts, if they can get these stops on defense, all hope is not lost.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Williams. And good space to operate there as he takes this down inside the 35-yard line. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their 1st timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now a give to Edmonds. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Now a 2nd timeout called for by the defense as they stop it here with 1:07 remaining. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. middle, it's Williams. They find some open field here. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Javonte Williams, his first touchdown of the new season. And they are able to add on to their advantage. What a huge touchdown that was, obviously, here in the late stages of the fourth quarter as they try to put this one away.
And, Brandon, when they watch the film after this week, they'll be very proud of every rep if they close this game out. Just a few snaps remaining. They can't relax just yet.
Extra point from McManus is good. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. Here is Wishnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. They might be thinking this is close to a lost cause here. Got to play it out. What do they need to do?
Well, they have a thought process in mind already, but they can't get ahead of themselves. They know that they need to score quickly.
Yep, two-score game.
Onside kick.
He's got a man, complete. And he will finally be escorted out of bounds down inside the 35. It's a big play for the Jaguars. 41 yards. Big plays back and forth just continue. Both offenses excelling.
And I hear the excitement in your voice while you're calling this game. This hurts my soul as a defensive player, watching these teams go up and down the field and put points on the board.
Do me a favor the rest of the way. Sit back, relax, and just appreciate the offensive dominance that's going on out here.
I'll give it a shot.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Lawrence. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he takes this one into the end zone, and all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter.
And there's the touchdown that they needed, so they'll celebrate. But the guys on the sidelines, they've got to stay focused. The onside kick team, they need them to get the ball back.
Yeah, part one of the equation done. Now they need to convert and get that onside kick. Point after here coming up. And the lead is down to a field goal now. So still a little over 40 seconds to go. Time enough to put a drive together if they can get this onside kick. And the Broncos are able to recover, and that should just about wrap this one up. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Good bounce back win. They take the knee. Can't stop the clock defensively. Tough opening week loss, but now 1-1.
Shows that they handled things really well. A lot of teams panic after a week 1 loss, and they start to think that the sky's falling. This team realizes there's a long season, and they feel very talented, and they get it done in this one.
The defense, they'll spread the field, a dime package here on 3rd and 12. So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational. So this one will wind up a Denver victory, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch in the second half.
So for the Broncos, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And another road date awaits them next week as their opponents will be the Los Angeles Chargers. Meanwhile, for Jacksonville, they will fall to 1-1, and they'll be off to Minneapolis next week for a look at new U.S. Bank Stadium and a date with the Vikings.